Welcome back again. Welcome back to the #1 afternoon show right here on Joy Prime Changes. And again, I am Lois Shola Adeyemi, and we're going to get into a conversation. Before anything, let me say a very big thank you to Abora Sika for my outfit. I look as beautiful as I do because she made this beautiful dress. Now, the good thing is that she makes many custom pieces. All you have to do is just follow her on social media at Abora_Sika_, or the numbers that will be displayed on the screen. Please call her by all means and tell her you want her to make you something this beautiful, and she's got you covered. Also, I have braids on today. Someone said, you never wear or you never braid your hair. Well, today I braided, okay? And my girl Happy is the one who made it happen. Now, the thing is that she does home service, so just give Happy a call. Any hairstyle you're thinking about, she has got you covered. Call her, she'll come braid it for you, and you look very beautiful. In fact, as beautiful as I look. Okay, so give her a call. Well, we get into my second conversation, but before that, let me say a very big thank you to Malta Guinness. With Malta Guinness, what do? We move, yes, and it's enriched in really beautiful, vitamins for your own good. Now, they have thought about you. That is why they're selling it. It's very cheap, it's very affordable. All you need is 12 Ghana cedis. And if you want to know that you're buying the original, please always look out for the Made in Ghana symbol on every bottle or can of Malta Guinness. Also to Didi Shito, we've told you that here. So anytime you want to eat Shito, please buy Didi Shito. It comes in two, flavors. We have it mild and spicy. So buy any of it that you want, and then you can enjoy it with your rice, your banku, your kenke, your fufu, everything. You can have it with Didi Shito. Okay, well, let's get into my very first conversation. Over the past few weeks, the aftermath of the 29th June floods have left many families trying to rebuild their lives. Now, while many of us watched the devastation on television or on social media, some people experienced it firsthand. Joining me this afternoon is Heneba Kwadwo Safo, who is the founder and leader of Bus Stop Boys, and then the youth-led volunteer movement that has become a symbol of community action and environmental responsibility across Ghana. We'll be joined by two volunteers who were affected by the floods. Now, Godson Nate and Adepa Nadia are all here with Heneba, and we're going to get the conversation. As I said, he's not alone. He's joined today by two volunteers, and we'll get into that conversation because, again, people say floods, but sometimes we cause the floods. Yeah, we are the reason. Drainage system, people are building in places they are not supposed to. Our attitude towards waste. People are throwing rubbish or dumping rubbish anywhere, all in the name of, we don't have any proper place to put it. Well, our own ways are the reason we're getting ourselves into such things. So we'll explore all of that. And again, you at home get to send me a message, and then I'll read all of that right here on the show. So are you ready to welcome our guests? Please put your hands together for Heneba and his two volunteers as they join us. Hello, good afternoon, please. Hello. And she have to dance for me. No, you don't sit. See how she's about to sit down on my sets. We dance. Are you ready? Hey, let's go. You move your body. Let's go. Hey. Nadia, let's go. Hey. Please sit down. What's that all? Give them more. Yes, it's good to have you in the studio with us. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, we are fine.
How are you doing, my love?
I'm okay.
And then?
I'm okay.
Okay. Well, we get into the conversation straight ahead because I think on the 29th of June, even though we already know that June is mostly raining season, most of the time, and one day that sticks with everybody is June 6th. Because a couple of years ago, it was tragic. There was a tragic event that had the whole Ghana going haywire. Well, on the 29th of June this year, something happened again, the floods. It rained heavily and people were affected. A lot of people were affected. And it had a lot of people also asking questions, what's going on? What's happening? Bus Stop Boys has been here for a number of years now, seeing what is going on and preaching the message. I'll ask you this, Heneba. Do you think that Ghanaians are responsible for what happened on the 29th of June? Because obviously it will rain by nature, but are we the cause of the flood?
Thank you very much, and my regards to your cherished viewers and in-house viewers too as well. We are everything responsible for the flood. Honestly, I listened to one professor who said 10 years ago, the volume of rainfall recorded was 70 millimeters. And at the time, there was no flood. This time, we recorded only 7, and there is a lot of flood. It means clearly that it has everything to do with us. And if you look at, I have been to places, I've been to some of the flood-prone areas, and I can say that all those who were affected by the flood, like majority of them are people who have built either 20 meters from the banks of the river, or some of them are even building in the heart of the river. So it's everything to do with us. And then, of course, it all has to do with the fact that we are beginning to think that life is just humans, you and I know. Life goes beyond humanity. That is why we want to eat. We need protein in order to grow healthy, but we don't see protein. Protein is not something you can see. The protein is not a fish that you eat. The protein is something that is within the fish that you cannot see. There are equally some neighbors in the water bodies that you don't get to see. So if we are respecting the ecosystem enough to understand that we are just an aspect of the cycle and it doesn't end with us, I'm pretty sure we will be able to end the flooding situation, because today there are more houses built in waterway than it was 10 years ago.
But again, the reason Bus Stop Boys was put together was to help curb these type of things. Are you doing your job?
Well, if you say we are doing our jobs, I'll say we are doing more than our job, because we are volunteers, not mandated by the state or any assembly. But we are of the simple conviction that the future is not, there is nothing like the future. It is today's actions that depict or tells us what the future will look like. So if you look at the history of June 3rd, 11 years ago, what happened at Circle, the causes are still existing today. I have been on grounds, I have seen what is happening around, and I can tell you honestly that whatever caused the flood in June 3rd is still the cause of what happened on 29th.
Right.
And we are more like raising awareness to bring the issues on life, you know, so that if indeed we want to fix the problem, we don't joke with grammar, we don't just speak big English, but we go to the ground and set the foundation right. So as volunteers, I can tell you that we are doing more than it is even expected of us.
Let's go back to 29th of June this year. I know that, again, I don't think anybody expected it to rain as heavily as it did. And I'll speak to you shortly because I know you were affected by the floods. But let's come back to you. Heneba, on 29th, when you walked in, got out of your house to see what the areas look like, what did you notice the most?
Well, unfortunately, I was caught up at Malam Junction. You know, I wake up at 5 thereabout wanting to catch up with somebody at Barrier. So when I got to Awashi last stop, for the first time, I saw the place flooded. So just from there, before I got to Malam Junction, I also saw what was happening. And even the intention of going to Barrier, I decided to cut it short and then find some safe haven around there. So I saw everything that went on. And whatever came to mind at the first instance was that we have become reactive thinkers instead of proactive thinkers. And because we are reactors, that is what we saw. Everything we saw on a week ago was the depiction of the mindset that we have. We all know that building in waterways could cause flooding, but we wait for the people to get to lantern or roofing before we start taking action. And no nation is built like that. From the corners of Cuba to the heights of America, nobody built their country by being reacted. We need reactors. We need to develop the proactive mindset. The proactive mindset will tell you that one drop of a liter can go a long way to cause flooding in the next 10 years. And if you look at the flooding history for Ghana specifically, you can trace the story as far back as 19-something. And we are still experiencing the same thing today. And if we don't shift from being reactors to proactive thinkers, then of course we are going to spend a lot. 300 million Ghana cedis to compensate and the seal drains. 10% of that can solve the problem even before what we saw could happen. And we need deliberately, I've always said that we should stop assuming that things will get better. Things will never get better. We need to put in the measures, the effort, in order to expect that better future. Clearly, education is one of the keys that will change our story. But from June 3rd, 2015 up to today, I have never seen any single educational program telling people what to do and what not to do. And clearly, we are simply not ready to changes.
We'll come back because, again, this conversation, a lot of people, if there's one thing that came out this year, is how everyone is saying that we are very used to saying and talking about it, but we are very, after it passes, everyone forgets about it. For instance, unless it's June, nobody remembers that, something happened on June 3rd, and we're not fixing it. So I understand when you say that we're already reactors and we are not getting people who are being very proactive about the condition and the situation. I'll come back. Nadia, let me come to you, my dear. Now, where were you the day that it rained on the 29th? Where were you?
I was inside the room. When I came to the kitchen to heat some water, I was not feeling fine, so I wanted to take my shower and go to the hospital.
Right.
So immediately I entered my room, I saw water just bashing into the room like that. So the only thing I could pick was my phone. And now the light too was on, so I have to climb my bed. I was so afraid. So I did a video and I tested it to my friends and especially the Bus Stop Boys team because I was scared. I've never experienced it. So the water kept coming inside the room and I have to forcefully get out from the room. And when I opened my hall, it was very devastating. So I was so scared because here is the case, your place has been flooded and the light is still on. I didn't pick anything. So I have to find my way out. And when I got out, what even got me more surprised was people were still dumping refuse inside the water.
At the time that it was raining?
Yeah. They were still dumping their refuse and I was so angry.
What area are we talking about?
Tuba.
Okay.
So I was so angry to the extent that I told them that we are the cause of whatever we are going through because here we have flood and we don't even know the time that the water will stop. And you people are even throwing trash inside the gutter. We have to fight. You see this Muslim community, you have to banter words. I was so angry because there's the case, I don't litter around.
Right.
If in my house, I make sure that anytime we pick up trash, they don't put it outside or do it anyhow. We give it to Bolaka or something like that. So here's the case. I am a person who is a volunteer. I go out to clean and tell people not to put they dispose trash anyhow. And I will wake up from my room and everything is gone. And here is the case. You people are still throwing trash inside the gutters and the compound just because you thought the rain will take it away.
Right.
But what I experienced also is after everything, if you see any gutter or something, you could see that the trash that we place on inside the waters have blocked those trashes one-sided. This should tell us that the waters don't like the trash that we put it inside. These plastics and a lot, we should just ban this because as I'm sitting here, I don't have anything.
Hold on. So the video we can see on the screen right now is her house. And this is where you woke up. So you were out of your room at this time.
Yeah.
And then you walked in.
This time I was still there.
You were still in your room.
I was just thinking
watching
about what to do. And I was just watching my things like go like that. So when the water came up on the bed, I couldn't do anything again. So I have to go to the kitchen, place my phone on the shelves and find my way out. So my mom even called and said, that was when I remember. So I have to swim outside. And it was very sad because we are the cause of this. Even though...
So you swam outside from your room?
Yeah.
That's how flooded it was?
Yeah. And now I don't have anything. If not my boss who took me to a place and they gave me clothes, I was not having anything.
So
even this
everything.
one, I placed it on top of the wardrobe. So this is what I got. And one other Bus Stop Boys dress. It's very sad, you know. I always say we are the cause of our own problem. Because if these things, some could have been avoided if we played a good citizen role. We throw trashes somewhere. Even sometimes you go and work, you go and clean gutters and people will be insulting you. Junkies, Mkope, Jumaya and the whole stuff. But if we all come together and say, Bus Stop Boys is doing this, we have other volunteer team doing this. So let's join hands together and do something better. We can do it. But here's the case, nobody cares. Imagine a volunteer waking up, see your room being taken like within a twinkling of an eye.
So you weren't able to salvage anything?
I couldn't do anything. My chemicals and everything, they were just gone like that.
Let me go to the gentleman. Which area do you live in?
So I'm at Kaswa Kaimebre.
Okay.
Yeah, and I live close to a river. I live like, let's say, maybe 10 from a river. And our problem is
they made a bridge on the river, but the bridge on the river is a little bit low. So the volume of water that has to pass under the bridge gets stuck when the level goes up. So when it gets stuck, it just comes back because it has to sum up before it can just sink again and enter under the bridge. So the coming back, it was caused the flood in my house.
Again, please hold on. So when we talk about people using the flood as an advantage to dump rubbish, this is an example. So the video of our screen is a woman literally pushing rubbish into the water, thinking that the water would take the rubbish away. And again, I ask, and just like Heneba said, if you throw the trash into the water, where do you think the trash is going to end? That's what I keep asking. People who do this, do they know where the trash is going to end? I don't think they think about it enough because this is, again, upsetting. You can see a woman literally throwing the trash into the water that is moving. And the thing is, she doesn't even know where it will go, where it's going to land. And just like Nadia says, when you even educate them, they begin to get angry at you and come at you for trying to help them or educate them. We'll come back again to that. But yes, so where you are, if I hear you clearly, there's a bridge, but the bridge is too low. And so when it rains, the water struggles to move.
Under the bridge.
Right.
Yeah. So when that comes, those within the area, we are not safe. Because I woke up around, the rain started around 11. So from 11 p.m. to the next day, I couldn't sleep because I was just hanging around just to know the level of water. And I have a wife and a child, a small baby. So I just have to hang around and see if the water starts coming, then we leave. So from 11 p.m. to the next morning, I didn't sleep. I was just hanging around, just checking the level of the water. So it was around 5:50 a.m. The water started entering my room. So by that time, I didn't have any chance to just stop the water from entering my room. So I just tell her, Amma, let's get some place and just. So this is my room. I just locked the door. Then we just went to have some safe place to stand. So the water level dropped before we went back. When we went back, this was what. It's sad, but that's how life is. But the aftermath of the flood, I came to realize there were so many trash, so many plastic.
So you also saw rubbish everywhere.
Plastic bottles, especially plastic bottles, and refuse from homes. I picked one full sack of Pampers from my compound.
One full
sack of Pampers.
Sack
of Pampers from my compound.
Your room, what were you able to salvage something from your room?
Actually, around 11 to 5, I was just packing things on my bed because I have a higher bed.
Okay.
So I was just packing things on it. I realized after the flood, I realized I was able to pick a mini fridge. I didn't know I even picked it onto the bed. Onto the bed. So actually I picked everything, and you can see there's another fridge on the sofa.
Right.
So I was able to raise so many things up.
Right.
So actually the water just came into the room, got the wardrobe, some few stuffs under the wardrobe. Yeah. But I was able to clean. The next day wash, then I slept.
Is your house around the waterlogged area? Like, is it in the waterlogged area?
No. It's not in the waterlogged area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just because of that bridge?
That bridge, yeah.
Okay.
The backflow of the water, that's what we suffer.
Right. Now, Heneba, we all keep saying, in fact, 3 of you have said that we are the cause of our own problems. When we say that, what does that mean? What are we doing that is causing all of this?
Well, the irresponsibility. Like, everybody expects somebody to fix. And that's the problem. So once we are expecting that Assembly will fix, Assembly too is expecting that we will be responsible. So everybody is blaming one way or the other. And that is us. And if I say us, I'm not even saying the Ghanaian. I mean the authorities are equally inclusive. Because if I'm a dad of a house, I have a role to play, likewise my kids. So we cannot just say the individuals are littering. Yes, they are littering, but the Public Health Act 851, Section 56 is a law, or the Constitution of Ghana, or the law of one of the public health rules, which talks about the fact that the law says prohibits any act that causes insanitary conditions, such as littering or dumping refuse. And there is a fine and imprisonment attached to this. So if there are laws and they are not being enforced, and we expect citizens to change automatically, that's why I say we should stop assuming. We should not assume that citizens will be responsible. We should apply the law. And if you ask me, I'll tell you why we stop at red light. When we see red light, we stop. It's not because we are scared of the red light, but we know that there's an MTTU standing somewhere who will arrest. So we should enforce the law and bring the same sanity on traffic side to what's the name, sanitation. And the big one is recycling. We treat waste as end product, but it is not. It's just a raw material that can equally do a lot for us. I spoke to one Chinese man who said the only reason they get things are cheaper from China is because everything is baller. They recycle everything and they sell it back to us. So how about having a national policy or a state-owned recycling facility? Or even to some extent, all these plastic producing companies, they should equally implement policies where individuals will return the bottles and either get more water or something. We should just find a way to imbibe into our system measures that will make people responsible. And I believe it's a collective thing. Should Ghana go entirely flooded the next week or so, everybody is gone. It doesn't matter whether you are CEO of Belacqua or whatever. We are all going. So why I'm saying that this is the time after 69 years, 70 years in 6 months, and this is the time that we need to put our feet down and redefine what it means to be a Ghanaian. Being a Ghanaian is not the grammar you speak or whatever you have. It is the collective geographic demarcation that gives us the energy to say we are Ghanaians. And if this demarcation is going bad, and yet some way, somehow, we only wear the Black Stars jersey and we pride ourselves as proud citizens or patriotic citizens. Clearly, patriotism is not a 90 minutes game. It is a daily activity that transcends beyond everything that we do. So we should get back to the tables, be serious about nation building, and find a way of changing the mindset, because that's the ultimate. I have always said that life operates on a hard and a software, just like computer. So the body we see is the hardware, the software is the mindset that runs the body. Until now, I have not seen any kind of education that is finding its way into the minds of our people to begin to shift and change how we think. Because the difference between the Ghanaian and the American is not the skin color, it is the mindset. And if we are not ready to change the mindset, then sustainability won't be what it is, because sustainability must first be a mindset before it transforms onto the streets.
Well, you at home, you get to send me a message right now, because I'm going to ask Nadia and then about, when it comes to waste and it comes to the floods, most of the time after the flood, you'd see a lot of things in our houses, like you say, a lot of bottles. What are the predominant things that you saw in your area after the flood, especially those who were affected by the floods? Were any of you affected by the floods? Any of you in there? Yes, I'll come back to you. But again, please send me messages, 055 157 5757. Again, 055 157 5757. You can tell me your area. And then after the flood, what did you notice that had engulfed your area? What particular waste did you see? Because you were saying you saw a lot of pampers used.
Yeah, used pampers. So actually, I think maybe somebody had a refuse somewhere and he saw maybe the water level has gone up. Oh, I'm in Tungume at the Beko. So I'm sure that's the way it's ended up in my compound. But assuming I have somebody have some, we all dump in the water. Definitely, we all will still have rubbish in our homes. Why then we keep it, then put it at the appropriate place? Because it's sad. It's sad to have to clean your house, and after the flood, you have a very huge amount of rubbish in your home. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, and then we live like there's nothing ahead of us just to achieve.
Right. Hold on, let me read this. This one says, good afternoon, Kojo from Achimota. I'm watching you live. I can feel the pain they are going through, but I got free cow. So I'm sure that he's trying to say that the floods brought him a cow. I see. Where did you find the cow? In fact, was the cow dead? Was the cow alive? Let me know. Okay, I'm very interested in knowing that. And also, you get to tell me what's happening in your community after the flood. What did you see predominantly? Nadia, in your area, what did you see? What waste particularly? Types of waste did you see lying around? Rubbish?
It was clothes and plastic bottles, black rubbish, and pure water rubbish, like sachet waters. Some way, somehow, I think there should be more enforcement when it comes to our sanitation. Because you could see sachet rubbish, black rubbish, there, pad. You use your pad and you wait for the water, rainfall, and you put the pad inside the water to go where exactly.
Yeah.
You are using rubbish, let's say bucket and stuff. It got broken. You don't like it again. You wait for the water to come or you wait for rainfall. Then you place the bucket inside the water. It's very scary. Like, I've never seen something like that before. Right. I only see it on phone or I have flood here. But what I faced and what after the rainfall, what I saw, I think the government need to apply more force when it comes to our sanitation. They shouldn't just start talking, we will do this, and within a month, everything will just go away. Because in Ghana, when something happens like this, for the first week, second week, we'll be talking about it. But from when it gets to a month, we all will forget whatever happened. I saw some woman who lost her kids, 2 kids, due to this flood. What would they tell you? Sorry. That sorry will never bring your kids back.
Right.
And me, I always say this flood could have been avoided because trashes like plastics, our clothes, and these rubbers and pampers, when it gets choked, there is no way the water can go. So the water too will find its way into our rooms every day.
Right.
And we will be the ones to suffer.
Right.
So, per my opinion, there should be a new enforcement when it comes to sanitation. And when they see bus stop boys working, they should all come together. Let's join hands together and do the cleaning. Because if our gutters are being choked, the waters will not go. So if you see someone volunteering him or herself and you think the person is a junkie, this thing we will keep on seeing it. It will get to a time when it rains for 20 minutes, we are going to see flood. If you don't take time, when it rains for 20 minutes, we will still see this flood and maybe it will be worse.
Right.
So in my opinion, I think...
I bear with you. I bear in your pain because, again, you keep saying that to see such a scene. And again, until it happens to you, I don't think you would understand. Like she said, it feels like a dream or something you see on social media. All the time, people talking about floods until you get to experience it yourself, which she has, and you can tell all the emotions she's going through because she's lost every single thing. That's very heartbreaking, heart-wrenching even. Heneba,
yes.
Do you think that education on flood has been done properly? Because, again, in our areas, like Nadia rightly said, floods won't stop today. Every year there's flooding. It's just that this year it's bigger than we've ever seen. Has education on flooding gone well? Are we doing it well, or has it failed? Has it failed?
Well, if I don't know if somebody has seen education on flood, but me, I have not seen one. So we haven't done anything to educate the people. That is why I said after 11 years since June 3rd, I went to the place and the courses are still the courses today. And funny enough, a week today, the place got bent. A close by place also equally got bent. So education is what changes every country's future. That is why from the trotro mates to the doctor, everybody was educated. And if our education cannot reflect in our environment, then I'm sure we are educating ourselves, but we are not learning, because learning comes with lessons. But education is, you can tell me the definition of science, method of obtaining knowledge, blah, blah. But because we are not learning, but we're only educating ourselves, the very things that will harm us will still be dormant in our environment, and they will harm us. As we speak, if nothing is done intensively, we'll come back 2027, maybe June, July, and obviously you can talk about.
So, but you're saying that the state has not done its rights, its due diligence when it comes to education on flood?
I haven't seen any. If there is any, fine, but I haven't seen any that is telling us not to build in waterways. There's a common plant we call the common reed, R-E-E-D. This is a common plant that grows only in waterlogged areas. At least we can begin to put this common reed on billboards, just so people know that if you are going to buy a land and you see a common reed, it's a sign to tell you that the place is a waterlogged area, do not buy. But I don't see any. And until we put in the education and try to change how people think and see the whole country as a nation building, then definitely we will come back in circles. And I'm surprised, or I won't be surprised if we come back after 100 years only to talk about the first flood and how it is still happening today. So that is a clear failure on the part of every Ghanaian. I don't want to handle the issue of leadership and citizen, because I see Ghanaian. As we speak, there are people who have been hurt by flood, and they will talk about all the things that they are going through, the pain, but give them power and see whether or not they are going to do something differently. They're also going to sit back and watch the same thing happens.
Right.
So it is not an issue of leadership, it's an issue of a Ghanaian. A Ghanaian losing so much of himself that he thinks it is by going to Canada and showing us videos of how Canada looks like. For me, that's a joke, because a true nation or a true patriot or a true citizen should be proud of where he's coming from. We should be able to take selfies from Ghana. That is far better than any other places in the world. Then we are building our nation. But if it's about, I've been to Canada, I've been to US, I've been to here, we show pictures and video just to flex on ourselves. We are just kidding, and we are just playing and stabbing ourselves in the back.
Right. Let me find out from the studio audience, some of you who had your place local. Please pass local the microphone for me. Which area do you live in?
Alugboshi.
Alugboshi.
Yeah.
Oh, so you live in Alugboshi.
Yes.
What happened? Tell me.
I think it's the rubbish.
So did your place get flooded?
Yes, my room.
Your room?
Yes.
Where were you the day it rained?
I was inside my room. Then we started seeing the rain coming, the water coming into my room. So the landlord let us get outside.
The landlord asked you
Yes,
to go outside?
yes, please.
Okay.
But me inside, because I cannot leave my things there.
Right.
So I will stay in the room. But now edudumi has say, now light news we see so.
So the lights were on?
Yes, please.
You had water almost up to your neck?
Yes, please.
You were asked to go out?
Yes, please.
But when
Like, now my project work and my card is so amazing. I say,
right.
50 level 100 in your card in us, and I said, Miss Uncle to
So you lost literally everything?
Yes, please. Until now, when a boys in Bebué, a dining effort say, no, Mbué, and me few.
Into Uncle Wimbiwa.
Me one of my same crop for 20 no money away. I think I'm here 21.
It's true. So you would have been number 21?
Yes.
It's not funny, Like, no, it's not funny.
No funny.
It's not funny at all. And like Heneba has said, Heneba, we'll come back to look at some of the things we can do, seriously do to change this thing, because we are sitting here every year, this thing happens over and over and over again. We lose people every year. One thing that I keep hearing people say, it's spiritual. And I say, did the spirits pour the rubbish in here for you? Because I don't understand what this is. We hear different stories every year, people complaining, the waste. Heneba, before I go to any other studio audience, is it waste? Is it the drainage system issues? Because we keep complaining about drainage systems. I think we have some. But then you'd also see in this same drainage system, you see other things in there that are blocking it. So is it really about the drainage system or it's about the waste? Between these two, which is really causing the flood?
It's about the sand.
Okay.
So if you look at the roads that we have, for example, Ablekuma Stretch and all other places you can find them, the main road, and we have the let's say the community road, the roads that is linking to the main road. Majority of them are not tiled.
Yes.
So what happens is when it rains, the sand on those parts of the road gets washed to the main roads and it blocks the drain.
Right.
When it blocks the drain, the water had no option but to go onto the road. And if it has plastics and textile waste in there, then it aids the blockage to be more serious.
Right. So it's about the sand, meaning that ideally all our roads are supposed to be tarred.
Yes.
In fact, I saw videos of people protesting from Amasaman, and their biggest cry was when it's not flooding, it's too dusty. So I think I can agree with you, because on the main road that has already been tarred, sometimes you'd see the sand, so much sand that when it's not raining and it's shining, there's a lot of dust. Before anything again, you see the video behind us, the rubbish is spinning. What's happening?
Okay, so if you look at this, I took this particular shot.
Right.
Because I was trapped. I took the advantage to observe what happens. And then from the video, you could see the narration being said by the water, just that it's not speaking grammar. But you could see that it is trying to tell us that I have been blocked. This is just after the water recedes. So you realize that the drainage there, the size of the drain and the volume of water coming is too huge. And unfortunately, by whatever thinking, we now assume that everything is gutter. This is a stream called Bale, and Bale stretches from Bawi Zero through Malam Junction, through Malam Zone, go to Dansoman to join the sea eventually. But people have built close to the water body, and the wall, the big wall, the retaining wall over there is equally blocking the flow. So you could see that in as much as we expect it to go through the small tunnel under the filling station, the access is too small. And this is why part of Malam Junction, like the main Malam Junction going to Malam station inside, got flooded because the volume of water here couldn't go, and therefore had to create a new path. That is what ended up on the other side of Malam Junction. And clearly, even if you want to build in a waterway, you should be reasonable enough to invest in huge drainage system. So if you, for example, this particular issue at Malam Junction, had we created or given the water maybe 5 more accesses apart from the single one there, I'm pretty sure that it will have its way to go through and appear on the opposite side.
Right.
So that is our problem.
I'll come back so we get into things that, because you are on grounds almost all the time, going into slums, into communities, trying to find out what's happening and trying to educate people as well as help us to clean. But again, you're a volunteer. So we'll come back to how we are piecing all of these things together. But I can see that we have comments. So let me read a few of the comments. Again, you're free to send me your messages, 055-157-5757. Again, 055-157-5757. Now, Samuela says that, good afternoon to you and your team. Good work done, Bus Stop Boys. We have swum in a river of water on 3rd June and any other time it rains. An Honorable Akugu cut sword for road construction nearby, and a bridge was done with its mouth facing our community without any plans of continuation. We can't sleep anymore because a man has created a problem for us. Have been here for 10 years without any issue until 2026 June. The problem isn't always us. It's sometimes our leaders, municipal assemblies, and wrong engineering works. All right, thank you, Samuela. Please keep your messages coming in your area. Let me know what's happening. This one says, hi, good afternoon. I am one of the assistants in my community, in my company. During this flood, I lost all my boss's contracts that I had to read through. Plus, the software is on my home desktop and I lost that too. My compound was filled with water, clothes everywhere, and plastics and many more. My siblings lost all their project work. They are visual art students and all their works are gone. The clay work, the paintings, the artworks, everything is gone. We are just grateful for their lives. You see, when I say these things are devastating, this is an example. Someone loses stuff he has to use at work. How do you explain this one? Where would you get it back? Especially those of us who don't back at things up. And again, this is to anybody who works in companies and uses these machines. Always back up, have a backup, okay? So when things like this that happen without us knowing, or when they come, they cannot be predicted. Exactly. So when these things happen, you can at least have a safe place for those things. Like Loco. Loco is a student as well. He's lost his project work from level 100. And then you wonder, if he's supposed to bring something from level 100 to school today, where is he going to get it from? where is he going to get it from? Samuela says that it's not, who sent the second message? The person said it's not about just us. Sometimes local authorities are not working. And about when you went into areas or when you go into slums and communities, what are some of the things that you see people do constantly that are causing these things, the waste? What do you see on grounds in these slum areas, environmental issues that people are doing that they don't know that is part of the reasons we end up here?
I said the first one will be littering, or is littering. Unfortunately, today you get to, in some of the communities, and they deliberately create a dumping area for themselves where everybody they dump. And in most cases, it's close to a drain. The assumption is that they will burn it. But I have seen people who are just as this woman is doing, just as when it starts raining, they start pushing everything into the running water to take away. And that is one of the things that we all need to shift from. Our drains are not too big enough, so the little waste that gets in there blocks it. And even though the drains are not enough, another aspect of our lifestyle that I would say, I don't know whether we are copying or whatever, because in the days we don't have a lot of people tiling their compounds, people concreting their compound. Let me just give a simple scenario. Imagine we have about 30,000 households. All of them have concreted or have concrete or tiles on their compound. If you look at the volume of water that falls on your roofing, if your house is supposed to receive maybe 15 liters of rainfall, without the concrete in your house, it will go into the soil and it gets vanished. But now, because of the concrete and the tiles in our homes, your 15 liters is coming straight to the water. So 15 multiplied by, let's say, 300 households in a community, multiply and check the mass. That's the volume of water that is coming into the drain. So in as much as the drains are not big, the volume of water that is coming is too much. And even if they are clean and clear, it is still
So are you suggesting that we stop tiling?
You should stop that. Even if you want to tile, let's be a bit modernized by creating holes after the tiling. Right. Let's create holes big enough so that it will allow the water to penetrate through the soil and find its way out. That is one of the main reasons why the flooding issue is becoming too much. There are too many people putting up concrete in their tiles just because if they plant carpet grasses or grass, they don't have the time to keep it clear or clean. So what they do is just put concrete, put tiles, and modernization is good, but any form of modernization that leaves the culture and the indigenous habits of the people behind will still suffer. Right. And that's the problem of Ghanaian. In as much as we want to be modernized, and we want to do all the things that the West are doing, we should also understand that in the West, there's a policy. You cannot have concrete all over your compound, even though you own it. So let's also copy the things. If indeed you want to copy, let's copy the right things and implement them here. And let's not copy the things that we think benefit us only. So that is another aspect that we need to pay attention to.
And Nadia, in your area, when you look very well, because you're surrounded, it's a Muslim community, right? It's surrounded by a lot of people. What do you see that people do that maybe they don't have much education on, but it's harming the community?
Let me use where I stay as an example.
Right.
Our lane, there is a building there, and this man does anything anyhow. Nobody can question him. He will go and buy a truck of sand, come and fill his place. Recently, I saw them making some gutter, and if you see the way they made the gutter, so I have to wake up one morning angrily, went for pickers, start breaking it because it was not making any sense. Anybody, like they do anything within their own, and if you question them about it, they get angry. One person will fill his frontage, and it will become like this. So the next person, if the next person don't fill his or her lane, then that place will become like a hole.
Right.
So when it rains, instead of the water to pass through, the water have to remain at one person's gate.
So they don't communicate that this is what we are going to do. There's no communication.
This person feels I have money, so I have to do what I want.
Right.
This person too feel like this is my own area or something, so I have to do what I want. Because that day when I was breaking the concrete, I was expecting him to come and question me, so that I will let him know that there is law. And you can't, because of your own selfish gain, you can't do anything anyhow, just because you feel you have the money. But this recent flood showed me and that person, Pepper, that we all have to face the same Pepper. I will not face, because his own building, a new building, the place all got flooded. And now he was talking plenty. I was just looking at him like this. since you have money, they like one person will build here. They will use this one wall where the water is supposed to pass. The person will just place the wall there. So if the water is supposed to pass left, the water have to divert and pass right. So me, my area, I boldly told them that they are the cause of the problem.
Right.
Because our area is not a place that we should even experience a little bit of flood.
So it's not a waterlogged area?
It's not a waterlogged area. The big gutter is way far from where we are. But they do anything, like when it rains small, this person will have to go and buy sand. If a recent flood now, I thought they were going to think about something better. One person just went in, brought sand, filled. You don't even understand them. And these people are people you can't correct them.
Right.
You can't even say anything to them because when you correct them, they will change their language into their language and they will start insulting you. One person can come to you, when you join hands and say, okay, then everybody will just fall back.
Right.
So me too, I'll just fall back. Now, when my time is up, I'll just move quietly. You people can do whatever, even if you catch yourself, I don't care.
But Heneba, do you see the problem? You're asking us to get up. But when people in the community like Nadia get up and they say, stop it, they're being accused, they're being harassed. Sometimes you're seeing us the snitch. So how are Ghanaians going to educate? How are we going to educate each other when in the same community where we live, speaking the truth, trying to educate people on the same thing is giving you problems?
So we just need more of our kind, let me say. If we are 50,000 of us and we come at you because you are building waterways, you cannot escape that. But if you leave it to me alone to go and talk, that one, I'm easy target. So we should just get to the point where at least out of the 35 million Ghanaian, let's get to 1% who are non-affiliated to anything, but their interest is Ghana's interest. And imagine 1 million of us saying we Galamsey should end. Nobody can go through 1 million humans who wants Galamsey to end. So we just need to get to the point where we bring more Ghanaians back to what it means to be Ghanaian. And that is the mindset. The Ghanaian mindset that was, I saw a bit of it in the 90s, because there was community services where they build their own community toilets. They do everything they need in terms of making their community a safe haven. Unfortunately, after I have grown up to see, now I see the same chiefs and community leaders, rather they are advocating that politicians build them community toilet and all of that. So the more we proceed, the more we age, we are leaving the very good aspect of our culture and tradition behind. In the name of we are modernized people. But we watch telenovelas. The Indians are only depicting to us the kind of culture and the things that they do. And we happily watch. We talk about their characters and we are happy. But what is the Ghanaian character? And the truth is, the world is as big as the elephant. So if you touch the leg and somebody comes to tell you that the leg is straight, I have the ear and the ear looks like, let's say, a fan. You don't have to leave the leg and go follow the one who have the ear. We as Ghanaians should also be able to show and exhibit what we have uniquely, because the world is big. The world is not just about a certain kind of people. Let's exhibit to them what we also do uniquely. And by doing that, we'll be able to show the world our Ghanaian culture, the good things that we do, and that's actually helped us. If you look at that, the Ghanaian history, a lot of our communities were built on volunteerism.
Right.
So if we are still going back to remember a bit of who we are, then definitely we are not going to wait for one person to feel like I have money and therefore let me just keep on hipping. You won't do that. It won't happen because everybody have a say.
Right. To be fair, it's been a while since I heard people say or an announcement being made in communities for us to do communal labor. You don't hear that anymore. At first, it used to be very predominant. When I was growing up, it was predominant. You hear it almost all the time. They would say maybe every Saturday, the last Saturday in the month, we're all gathering with our tools, our brooms, our cutlasses to, let's get into some communal labor. But now we don't hear a lot of that. And like Heneba says, because everyone thinks that we are in a time or Ghana is evolving, we're modernizing. But are we going to destroy ourselves because we are modernizing? We need our health. We need to stay alive as well. For you, in your community, Kaswa, when after the floods, when you come out, even before the floods, what are some of the things that people do in your community that is harming the community, but they don't know or they are not very aware of?
People don't just care about what they are doing.
Right.
For instance, let me give an instance. I was at home. I don't have a wall in my home, so I was just in front of my house. I saw somebody dumping refuse. I was like, oh, boss, shall I have in front of Ramgo how fegu baby and a fegu rubber muna face. It's like, what they will have do. People are not ready to learn. One, they don't just care. And if you try to maybe bring an authority into it, you're an easy target.
You become an easy target.
Yeah. People don't care. I have to do what pleases me. And if you don't give me the opportunity to do what I feel to do, then people are not ready to learn. Even you telling them, oh, you have to keep the rubbish like this. You have to put it here so that maybe animals don't get into it. They are not ready to listen to you. What they want to do, that's what they will do. So it boils down to what my brother was saying. The authority has to come to intervene. Because if a person like me is teaching somebody, don't do this, and the person is refusing to do, the next person who can teach the person is the authority. But the authority, I've stayed in Kaswa for like 6 years. I haven't seen my assemblyman before. I've never seen my assemblyman before. There was one time a man was like, oh, let's do community labor. The man has to wake up around 5 and go knock the whole community doors before like 10 people came for us to do. So people don't just care.
Right.
And we are all in the community. When the water rises, we all get flooded. Rubbish everywhere. You see this, tell somebody, oh no, it's no good. They don't just care. So it's time for the authorities to intervene and make things right. I live close by EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. I saw them once in the community. I've never seen them again.
It's horrible. Again, people are going through a lot. And like you say, it's like we don't care anymore. It's like nobody cares anymore. Everyone just wants to live and do whatever they want to do. But you forget that there's something that will come at the end and it will affect literally everybody. So the trash you're pouring in the gutters, the clothes you're leaving in the gutters, the sanitary pads, pampers that you're throwing in the gutters will come back to haunt you. Now, Heneba, all of you keep saying that you go into these communities, you're speaking to people and they come at you and you become an easy target. Would it be easier if there were law enforcement agencies involved? So, for instance, if you were going to speak and there was a police attached, would it help?
To more than help. And that alone will go a long way to change a lot of the things. Everybody by far is afraid of the law. So I have even said that, how about police? For example, if police is positioned as, say, Achimota or Mile 7, in as much as they are checking traffic, they should also be checking those who are littering.
Right.
Because you get to a bus stop and the whole bus stop is so dirty that you wonder whether we understand that when there is any outbreak of, let's say, malaria, we will be the first victim. So if they involve police, I'm pretty sure that it will change a lot of attitude.
Right. So attitudinal change can be corrected if we include law enforcement. But do you want the law enforcement to follow you? For instance, bus stop boys, people are on the ground every day, making sure that people hear about waste. So would you want them to follow you around at all times?
No, not really, because there are times where we don't really need police or anything. But there are times too that we are targeting maybe the community and to fish out some of the people who are doing all the illegal things. So in those instances, we can have the police join us. Maybe not necessarily to go and arrest them, but in terms of trying to tell people to do the right thing, most of us will listen more when it's coming from an officer or a policeman.
Which one will you choose? For people to pay a fine or people to be arrested, if there was to be a new law that was brought out? Would you choose for people to be arrested when they litter, or they should pay a fine. Which one do you think will work?
I think the one that will work is that when you are apprehended for dumping, they arrest you, no fine, no imprisonment. Let's look for the next 200 meters choke drain. Then we put you in charge. They sealed all of it. We put cameras on you. We make sure that the whole nation sees you as an example, as an scapegoat to prevent more people from doing so. Because people have money.
Right.
If I dump and you are charging me 1,000, I'll pay and do more. But if I'm supposed to clean 100 or 200 meters drain, knowing what it takes to clean that particular drain, maybe that will change a lot of people.
True, I agree. So we don't want the fine. If you are caught, you should be able to clean something.
Yes.
And then cameras should be on you too. And then you'd see yourself on TV and everybody would see that you actually littered. I think it's a really great idea. Do we have some messages? Do we have more messages? Because we'll get into, I'll take a few messages and I'll come back to you to find out, as Pastor Boys, what are we doing after the flood? What initiatives have we put together? What are we looking at changing with all these initiatives, especially after this last flood? Now, this one says, hi, good afternoon. I am one of the assistants. Oh, so I've read this one. This one says, my siblings and I turned into superheroes. So this is a continuation of the first message. It says, my siblings and I turned into superheroes during the rains. The way we were raising stuff, it was chaotic. A man was at work and only his 11-year-old was at home. We had to find means and ways to get the little girl out. When we got there, she was suffering to breathe. We had to rush her to our community nurse who takes care of kids and people in the community without asking for anything in return. Who knows what would have happened if we hadn't remembered that we saw her earlier on asking she had a headache. God bless all those doing the little things in the community, and let's keep Ghana clean. When her father came back, he was grateful because as a widowed dad, he would have lost his only child. This one also says that the guy from Kaswa is really saying the truth. That was where I used to stay. When it rains, it's very devastating over that area. Watching you live from, what is that? Isikuma. All right. And then this one also says that I would take your program as my best sports program. Thank you for reading my comments. All right, sure. So again, people are going through a lot. There's a lot that people are going through, and until you get to see them, and someone is agreeing with you because the person used to live in that area. I mean, to see used Pampers and the women, you use your parts and you're leaving your parts for rain to carry away. This is blood. Even if you forget the spiritual stuff, it's also really not nice to leave your things like that, especially your parts, your Pampers. I don't think it's good for us as Ghanaians, because as people who are chasing development, we're calling ourselves underdeveloped, or we're calling ourselves a developing country. Everything has to develop as well, not only our finances or our economy, but also our health. When we look at all these sectors, waste, all of them, we need to work on all of those things, and then we can properly call ourselves a developing area. We can't only develop one place and leave the others. Now, Heneba, what is Pastor Boys doing, especially after the floods? What initiatives have we put together? What are we doing? Okay.
So after observing everything, we have concluded that the missing link is education. And then sometimes until you have a feel of what other places look like, you so content with what you have and think that it is the best. I remember when I was living in a single room, I thought that was the best I could have. Now I went into 1 bedroom and I was like, Charlie, so this place, there is no good crowd. I went into 2 bedroom and I can also see that even the 1 bedroom itself, it wasn't good. So we are now trying to depict to people what other countries are doing. For example, Rwanda. Rwanda is a neighbor, as far as I know. At 1996, Rwanda was fighting genocide. 30 years down the line, we can boast of Rwanda as the cleanest country in Africa. And we, as Ghanaians, know civil war, so-called peace, but we don't depict the peace with other creatures. And for me, I've always said that we pride ourselves with so much peace, but we are not peaceful. Because peace is not, if we are peaceful indeed, why are we fighting armless nature? Like they don't have any arms to fight us back. Or we are cutting down trees anyhow. We are blocking water bodies. That is not a peaceful people. We should depict peaceful really by living coexisting with all the other creatures in the ecosystem. So what we are thinking basically, we have a projector we have a bus, so we can now go use the bus as a board, you know, let's say Alajo. And then we can show them all the things that is causing flooding in their community and show them how exactly a community like theirs living in Rwanda or Namibia is better off and how there is no difference between them. They are black, you are black. So if Namibia can do it, then why not Alajo community? Why not Nima? Why not Lapa? So we, like I'm saying, I feel like the education is the only thing that is missing. So that is one aspect of, you know,
but
the campaign.
how would this be different? Because we've all established the fact that people don't care anymore. So this particular initiative, how sure are we that it's going to work this time around? Okay,
so as to whether it will work or not, it also depends on how the people receive the education. Because we are basically using infographics. You know, we are showing, let's say, how a clean community looks like in other countries. Even Togo self, I understand, I've not been there, but those who have been there are telling me that, bro, Togo is nice. You get to Togo beach and it's clean. And if Togo can make it, a country that doesn't have even a flyover, not even one of them, can keep their beaches clean, then what is happening to us? All the Legon graduates, all the PhDs, all the educations that we pride ourselves with, if we cannot show a reflection in our environment, then I think we are failing what it means to be educated in the first place. So we, like I'm saying, we are just volunteers using our own resource and the support we get from people who care about the environment to do what we do. So that's the little that we can offer. We believe that it is better to do something than to do nothing, because in the end, if we fail, we all fail together. So if the authorities buy into what we are saying, for the same energy that our mothers spend to watch Kunkumbage and all the telenovelas, they can spend the same energy to look at what it means to be clean. And if our mothers begin to buy into cleanliness, they are the biggest advocates. Right. They are the biggest campaigners, because they are the mothers that are raising kids. That is why it is said that educate a woman, educate a nation, because women are going to nurture children. And if they are, excuse my French, dumb, they are going to raise dumb kids. Right. If they are intelligent, they are going to raise intelligent kids. So this is the little that we are trying to, you know, implement in order to, you know, like buy some time or to push the poor education in terms of the education that will change our story too. Because for me, I don't see any education on telly. Unfortunately, we don't kind of see the fact that the kind of things that we push to the masses is what determines their behavior. I've seen a lot of old people blaming young people for being too sex or thinking too much when it comes to sex. Right. But have they thought of what we listen to when we tune into our radio stations? They are all talking about sex enhancement and all of that. And this case comes like an empty pen drive. So if you feed them with everything that has to do with sex, they began exhibiting what they have learned from the elder community. So let's first of all fix ourselves as elders, and then automatically we'll fix our kids as well.
Fix ourselves as elders, and automatically we will feel, or we will be able to change our kids as well. But again, looking, how many communities have we visited so far, especially after the flood?
Well, so far we've been to parts of Pokwase. As we speak, I've seen houses being built in waterways in Pokwase. We've been to Chado, Malam Junction. Yeah, so far these three. And even for Chado, the Chado is a high-class community, but for what I observed, the places that got flooded, they have not even built in water, like close to the water. They've built in the heart of the water itself. And it's unfortunate. I don't know what they expect. Even one that I saw, he knew for a fact that he's building in waterway. So he raised about 8 to 10 pillars. Right. Almost like maybe 25 feet. And the house starts from the length of the pillar. He knew definitely he will get flooded. And if you get there, the common thing that you see to know that the place is a waterlogged area is a common reed. Yes. The plant is everywhere in that part of the community. So those people that I think we should also be bold enough not to sympathize with people who are deliberately causing harm. We should not sympathize with them. Maybe it's also a way of changing people to know that if you deliberately cause problem, nobody will side with you when you get, you know, the consequences.
How are people able to tell, like aside the reads, how else would someone be able to tell? Because videos that were circulating on social media again I saw about 4 videos. One, a woman was crying because she says the landlord didn't tell her that this place is a waterlogged area. So for someone who is going to buy or rent a place, normally we're only looking for how nice the place is it conducive for me? What other things we see that will make us know that, okay, this place is not where I'm supposed to be?
Okay, so the only thing you can call gutter is the water that is running from your bathhouse. Anything else is a stream. But because of modernization, we try to give them retaining walls. It doesn't mean they are gutter. Now Kole is not gutter.
Right.
It is as beautiful as River Nile.
Right.
The only difference is that we respect that of River Nile and maltreat that of ours. So if you are going to rent or buy a land, make sure you look out for what the landscape look like. If there's any stream nearby, make sure that at least 100 meters from where the stream is, you don't buy a land. Because today it must be something small that is coming, but tomorrow when the water return at its fullest frequency, you cannot tell what happens. So aside from the reed, let's look out for other water bodies and make sure we stay as far as possible from it.
Stay as far as possible from it. I think that's also very important. People need to understand that you can't build in these places and think that you'll be okay. And just like you're saying, if possible, check out for these things before you buy a land, before you do any of those things. Now, how many communities have we visited so far? You said 2?
I think so far 4.
4, right. And where's our next stop?
I have another volunteer who stays around Weja.
Right.
And her case has to do with the dam that they opened, basically. So we're thinking of going to visit her and also get to see how she's feeling and what is the general look within their environment. I think it stretches to Tetegu. So we'll take the advantage of it to also look at what is happening at Tetegu. But for Tetegu, again, if you look at the Google Earth, those of us who have Google Earth to check, you can check maybe 20 years ago how Tetegu was like. You clearly see that there are houses, numerous houses that has been built where they are not supposed to build.
Right.
So it is only the consequences or the results of the past that can guide our future. And if we are not learning from our past, then I don't know how we want to understand life.
It's horrible, it's horrible. People are really not learning. We're not learning from our past mistakes. You saw one of the videos, in fact, one of the messages that we got, someone said that, I think an assemblyman or someone like that, someone of great power had come to start a bridge that they didn't finish. We, in the same Ghana of ours, most of the time, when a party is in power, they start a project, they don't finish. For instance, the Amasaman Road is a big example. It was started by the NPP, the NDC is in power, and a lot of complaints is that it's not moving as fast as possible. Do you think that sometimes the government's change and whatnot is also part of the reasons why things are not developing as fast as possible? Because for this one, for the person who sends us the message, the place is left. The bridge that they started, it's been left ajar. And how can we fix that?
Okay, in fixing that, I think we need a national policy. If you ask me, as somebody who has been born and bred in Ghana and has been a Ghanaian all my life, I've never chanced on anything national policy. So because there is no national policy and the country is being run by manifesto, even NDC feels like I'm in power, yes, but Amasama is not my priority, then they have to ignore it. But if you have a national policy that is guiding both parties, whoever comes to power, even if you're able to put in the right measures in terms of national policy, bring Satan to come and rule Ghana, and you have no option than to do what we want.
Right.
Because the national policy is just going to act like the constitution. If Amasaman Road has been started by a government and they couldn't complete, whoever comes to power, it's mandatory, you must continue, so that you don't leave all other infrastructures in the bush and assume that it will work. So at this point in our lives, 70 years in 6 months, if we cannot do anything at all, we should invest in national policy that will turn our story around. I can't imagine what we will look like after 100 years if we come back talking about these same stories. But the Ghanaian youth is so brilliant that given the right leverage, we can also compete in robotics. We can also do all the amazing things the Chinese is doing. They are not and never better off than us. The only difference is that we do not value the so-called young people in our communities. But then again, they say, but in our case, nobody gives, they don't care about the youth, basically. For me, as a young person, somebody who have given up on my life to kind of champion sustainability and volunteerism, I can say that wholeheartedly that a lot of the people, you meet them, they speak grammar, but the truth is they don't really care.
Right.
If they do, I'm sure by now we can have 50 active young people as part of creating employment in every constituency. Resource them, give them what they need, so they go around like we do, fixing every drainage within their community and all of that. And these 50 active guys, they will choke the drains before the rain starts. So if indeed we care about our future, we should understand that whatever happens in 30 years, a lot of the old people who are 70, even if they are in existence, they will have the strength to do less. But it's the 15, is the 20, is the 21, that's how we have the energy or to do more in terms of what happens in the future. So let's bring young people into the conversation of nation building. We form the majority. And it saddens my heart that even when you are trying to bring young people together, they begin to, do the things that doesn't benefit us. So as young people, we should not blame the authorities. We are the problem. We don't have one voice. We are even incapable of advocating for something that will benefit our future. And we've been swayed to think that I'm MPP and I'm NDC. Clearly, without Ghana, MPP, NDC, nobody will go nowhere. Ghana is the only thing that gives us the relevance. And if we don't prioritize Ghana, and we prioritize parties and tribes and all of that, one day we woke up and maybe we are in chains against our slaves.
Right. Nadia, people in your community may be watching you. What do you want to see different from today? And as one person who is always championing, this cause, making sure that people know that these are things that you're not supposed to do. What are you going to do again? What are your plans? Again, under Bastard Boys, I don't know if you've spoken to them about anything, but what do you want to see your people in your community do different?
I would be glad if I see them gathering their trash inside a dustbin, each and every person getting a dustbin. Then they place it at their gate or somewhere so that we will be dumping the refuse inside the dustbin. Then we give it to a Bolaka or something like that. And I will be glad if, I don't know if they have assemblyman or MP, because last time I asked them, I've been there for 4 years and I've never seen any MP or something. That he will come through and advise them, or the authorities who have to stand by the people, or who have to come through for people who are building their houses and misbehaving. I wish they will come and educate them on how to, even if you want to fill your surroundings, how they will do it, how they will go about it.
Right.
Because each and every person will do whatever pleases them. Then we will suffer. Because as a volunteer and seeing myself suffer from something I didn't contribute to is very sad.
Right.
So I wish they would change their mindset.
Okay. When we go to Casper, what do you also want to see different?
What I want to see difference is I want people to be involved in the community. Not just you live in the community, but being involved in the community in a sense that anything that happens in the community goes against us who lives in the community. So you doing anything you want in the community, don't care about how you dump your refuse, don't care about, your sewage and other stuff, will go against us in the community. So I want the community people to wake up and start thinking how we can improve the community. Because for my community, for instance, sanitation issue is very bad. Everybody, some run out the baby or baby, and share and So I just want them to wake up and be conscious of their sanitation and their community.
Now, but finally, before I let you go, there are people who complain that they put their waste in proper places. For instance, they buy the bins from the waste companies and then they leave them outside and they don't come for them. How can we fix that as well? Because we have waste companies. We have a few of them. I can name Zoom Lion as one. You'd hear, and even in the mornings, when you pass in front of Circle, you'd see that people have properly packed the waste waiting. And as at 9 a.m., the car hasn't come for it. What do we do?
Well, I think the truth is the landfills are all full. So for about a week or so, the Aboboya people go, even though it's illegal for Aboboya to collect waste, but they go and there's no place to dump.
Right.
So the landfills are full. That is why it is so critical now that we invest into recycling. Even the landfills, there's a way that we can do away with everything at the landfill. So that's what we need. And if not for anything now, we can start from the communities. We can start with having a community recycling center, which is purposely for plastic. So if you have plastic, there should be a community center where you send your plastics. And there they also use shredding machines, like grinding. They shred the plastics into smaller particles. Then you can store them and then even sell for those who are interested in recycling. And if you do it and do it so well, every community can have a recycling facility.
Right.
Organic waste, for example, is fertilizer in disguise. So that's where we need to tackle it from, because now the landfills are full.
Right. Okay, people are watching you. I'm sure that there's someone who wants to reach out for help. Maybe other people want bar stop in their community to also come and educate the people. Where can we find you? Is there a number we can reach out to? And if people want to also join as volunteers, how do they reach out to you?
Okay, so our call, like deliberately we are leveraging on social media. We believe that is where the young people are currently are.
Right.
And if they can jump onto a trend that you can see that this guy is not interested in the trend, but they want the fame that come with it. Then how about using the same thing that young people love to change what they want to be? So social media, from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere we are there. If you want to also volunteer, today and tomorrow we have a program at Alisa.
Okay.
But then on Wednesday, there's one man in Tema who wants us to come and help him in community. We'll be there. But Friday, most definitely, we're going to be outside somewhere in the community. We don't own the debt, so we cannot pinpoint and say we are going to be here or there. But when we are ready, we'll just look around. Wherever there's a choke, we fall in and then we do it. And it is so critical now that the communities must come together. We are just there to help. Me, I wasn't flooded, but I have been in flooded communities trying to help. So if you guys don't come out to help yourselves, as at least June 29th has taught us all the big lesson that nobody is immune to flooding, and therefore we must all put our voices together heavy enough so that we can deal with the disease once and for all.
No one is immune to flooding. I like that. Please, again, let's stop it. For the woman who was dumping the trash, did you speak to her? Because I know you took that.
Well, I saw the video online. I didn't.
Oh, okay. So we don't know if she's been spoken to. But again, please, make sure that you speak to people who are doing these things in your area, because no one, like you said, is immune to flooding. When it comes, all of us will suffer the consequence. It may not have happened to you this time, but if you wait around and you keep doing these things and facilitating them next year or a few months, you may also experience these things. So please don't do it. So you're active on social media. People can come there, get into your DMs if they want to volunteer as well.
And every time we go out, we put the location outside where we'll be going next.
Okay.
Then you all must come, because if we go out and we have, let's say, 2,000 people coming, that's enough to do a lot of work. But if you leave it to us, 30, 35 of us, we just do the little that we can. But if we find a way of bringing more people on board, more people sponsoring their food especially. A lot of the time people give up on volunteerism because how can I be working, desilting drains and do all of these things without getting food to eat? Right. So let's find a way of at least making food available for the people. And I tell you, the Ghanaian youth is not and never lazy. The only difference is that they are not really paying attention or seeing us as something that is capable of changing anything. Right. They should stop seeing us as such, because there's nobody outside this country, Ghana, who is better off the Ghanaian youth.
Right. Food and water especially. Please bring food and water. Have you tried reaching out to these companies like water companies so that they can, at least help, sponsor?
Oh yeah, so far Verna gives us water every single time we go out there. Okay. But the food, there's no commitment to it.
Please, there's so many big restaurants. Is there any restaurants you're targeting?
Any of them. There's
Papaya. What are some of the names? All of you, Chicken Man, Pizza Man, Starbites, all of us, we need to be involved in this one because they're helping.
Food bank.
Food bank. That's the Richard Niama way. Yes. Because they're already giving free food. Please, let's get involved. If you're paying attention to us, please, we need your help. All the restaurants out there, help us. A few packs will help because they are on the streets from morning to evening, desilting gutters, cleaning our roads, clearing all the waste, working on our drainage systems. They need to be fed. Let's help the youth, because someone can work from morning to evening and the only thing you give them is water, or when they end you say thank you. It's not, we need more. Let's do better. And also those who want to give funds. If someone wants to send money, is there a number?
Yes.
That, please put it out there.
0546 442747. 0546 442747.
Okay, so please do well to send in your donations. Let's help as much as we can. Nothing is small, no amount is small. Send it, let's help them, because they're doing and they've put together this great initiative and they're helping us, make Ghana a greater place. Like you said, the youth of Ghana, we are the best youth. Let's get up and do what we can. Stand up and fight for our country while we can, because tomorrow may be too late. This has been a great conversation. Please put your hands together for me.